don't rush through my videos. That's the worst thing you can do, because what you're doing is you're proving you're not going to be disciplined to do this. But I have so many folks that have gone through mentorship on YouTube, mentorship and private mentorship, and their complaint will be, but I watched all the videos. Okay, watching them, that's the minimum expectation. You've done the least. Well done. You got a participation award. But you have to fucking do the work. That means you have to sit down and you have to look at what the market did today after it already happened. And then how's that work inside of what we've done for the week? What's the range? What did today's work in price delivery, where it's highest high and it's lowest low? Where are the trade formations that you can identify based on that 2022 model? Where did they form? And how does that relate to what the weekly range has been for this present week and how we have worked with previous week? And where is it drawing to on that daily and weekly chart? You do that every single day. You will not understand what it is that you're supposed to see the first couple weeks doing it. But because you'll be doing that and you're logging your charts and you're recording your observations and your questions and your concerns and your doubts, and you put that in your journal, you do not fucking send that to me in a text or a tweet or post it on a forum. You put it into a study journal. And when that moment happens, and if you're diligent about it, you'll find that it happens within the first year. Oh, here we go, back to that year again. I ain't got time for a year. Then you can't be a student of mine. Hear that? You can't. You can't be a student of mine. You're coming here with an expectation of, I need to learn it the way I want to learn it. Then that means you know it. You know what it is you need to know. When you don't know what it is that you need to know. See, that's the arrogance and the impatience of this culture today. And that's what I get. I lose my impatience with the folks today. And that's the reason why I built in a lot of shit that makes you have to work for it. Because I don't have time for people that are lazy. Because I know I can't fix your laziness. I can't fix that. But I can make people profitable. I can make them consistent. I can do that. I can lay the resources in their hands the right way, the right approach. And if they do that after they've fixed themselves, they have every advantage in the world of being consistently profitable. Will they lose money? Yes. Every trader loses money. But those losses won't incur to a degree where they lose their mind because they understand how they wreck themselves because, oh, I'm doing more trades than I should because I'm worrying about that bad feeling of that I have a losing trade. I have a losing trade. So what? Your spouse is going to ask you, did you make money today? No, I did something wrong. It didn't pan out. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it, honey. You will get there tomorrow or you'll get it back. That's the encouraging spouse. If you know that about your spouse, that they're not going to be equipped to be like that, then you don't fucking talk about trading with your spouse. See how that works? You sit down with your spouse and say, look, how are you going to approach this if I lose money? Because if you lose your shit about it, we need to come to agreement right now before I go any further. This is what I'm willing to risk. This is what I'm willing to invest in time and money. Are you in agreement with that? That has to be sorted out. Because if you go in selfishly saying, look, woman, this is the way it is. And if you don't like it, there's the door. Don't let it hit you in the ass. Because I'm going to tell you something. She might do that. And how impossible it is to fucking trade profitably. Because your heart's going to walk out the door with her. Oh, no, it ain't. It will. It fucking will. And if you don't think so, wait till you see her with somebody else. Your trading will turn to shit real quick. So you have to worry about all those things that people don't write about in books. These young 20-year-olds, they don't even have relationships. They're not married. Okay, they're out there trying to chase tail all the time. They're not going to talk to you about these things. They're going to be heavyweights in your development and in your continuity. But as a 50-year-old man, 2 marriages, 5 kids, 2 miscarriages, I have endured some things. And I know how those things impacted me. And I'm not ashamed to tell you how they impacted me because it's raw and it's real. And I know that there are people out there like me and have got it worse. See, I didn't have to pay child support when I got with that gold digger because I took extreme measures. But we had joint custody. So I did half. She did half. And that was it. But some of you out here made poor choices, didn't manage your relationships well, and you've created children that you were not really responsible for. And now you have to pay a whole lot of money in child support. Own it. Be a fucking man and own it. Take care of it. And this is one way you can do that. And guess what? You could also become a positive role model for your child. That relationship failed? Okay. But don't fail as a parent. But if you have those things wrestling with, all these failures in life, they're going to weigh on your decision making. They're going to weigh on your development as a student. And to ignore them or pretend that that's not true, you're lying to yourself and you're wasting your fucking time. Because I'm telling you, every person has regrets. Every single one of us do. And if you've not wrestled with that and sorted it out and forgiven yourself and that other person, you're going to be motivated by all the wrong things. And my videos, my teachings, my mentorship, and even sitting down with me live pointing out shit before it happens in the chart next year is still going to fucking cause you to lose money. And because you are weak-minded, you're going to say these things don't work, despite all the evidence saying otherwise. Because you need to say those things to exist. Because you can't take ownership. That you are the problem. Much like I was the problem when I first started. I was the problem. When I was 20 years old, everything. Larry Williams honestly could have sat down with me, okay, and said, here, this is what you do. Do this, do that. And I could have made money, and I still would have fucked it up. Now think about that. That's your fucking mentor telling you this. Michael Joe Huddleston, ICT himself, Larry Williams, could have invited me to his fucking home and spent months there teaching me in one-on-one. And I could have made money with him helping me right there. And I would have went home, and guess what would happen? I would have blown my fucking account still. I would have lost money still. And I would have fucking vilified him then. Why? Because I didn't have my shit together. My head wasn't right. I was going into trading for all the wrong reasons. I wanted to prove my self-worth to my ex-wife. I wanted to win her back. That's what I was doing it for. And you can't do that, folks. You can't have these self-worth driven purposes in trading. You can't. Now, that's a byproduct of being consistently profitable. That happens, as a natural order of things. But that shouldn't be, and it should not be, ever the reason why you're pushing the button. Now, it can be encouraging factors that keep you studying. But anytime you ever sit down, take a trade, or push a trade button, whether it be demo, paper, or live, if the last thought you had in your mind was painful, hurtful, or envious, or wanting to prove something to somebody else, I promise you that trade is going to be toxic. It's going to be poison. And you don't get that in books. You don't get that from 20-year-old mentors on YouTube, Instagram. You don't get it from people that haven't really gone through some shit. It doesn't get more real than this. So to study with me properly, that's the shit you got to sort out. It might be something as trivial as, maybe in COVID you gained weight. Maybe that's bothering you. Maybe it's plaguing you. Maybe it's a health disorder that you developed, and it's taking the steam out of you. Maybe it's an injury. It doesn't have to be something on a relationship side of things, but something has beaten you down to where you feel like your self-worth has been reduced to such a degree that you're now trying to do things to distract you from that. Instead of just saying, you know what, this happened.